Hello, and welcome to my first ever podcast. Before we get started, I just want to make it clear that the opinions I share here are my own. If I say anything that is incorrect or misinformed, please don't hesitate to let me know. This is a space for learning, reflection, and conversation. So today, I want to talk about a question that comes up often, whether quietly or out loud. Should the color of a person's skin determine who they vote for? On the surface, most of us would say, of course not, people are individuals. But politics, culture, and history make this question more complicated than it sounds. Picture it like this. Imagine you're a kid, and someone says, because you're a kid, you can only eat a certain type of food. That doesn't make any sense, right? Just being a kid doesn't mean you're automatically tied to one food or one brand. In the same way, being a certain race or ethnicity doesn't mean you have to automatically have to vote for one political party or candidate. At the same time, we can ignore that communities of color often share similar experiences. Those experiences, discrimination, barriers to opportunity, or policies that impact them directly, can shape the way larger groups of people vote. For example, many black voters in the United States historically supported candidates who fought for civil rights and protection under the law. Latino voters may care deeply about immigration policies because those issues affect their families and communities. These shared concerns doesn't mean everyone in those groups thinks the same way, but they do explain why certain groups patterns exist. So that when someone says, if you're black, you have to vote this way, or if you're Latino, you should only support this party, that's where the problem is. It reduces people to a single identity and ignores the fact that individuals have different values, priorities, and life experiences. Some may prioritize economic opportunity, others education, others healthcare, and others religious or social issues, and all of those matter. In other words, while race can influence what issues are more important to a person, it should never determine their vote like some unbreakable rule. People have the freedom to think critically, to look at candidates, policies, and to decide for themselves. And there's another side to this. Politicians often assume they own a certain community just because of who they are. That can lead to taking those voters for granted instead of earning their trust and offering real solutions. When we expect people to vote a certain way just because of who they are, we risk silencing their voices instead of respecting it. So here's where I land and where I stand. No one should feel pressure to vote a certain way just because of who they are, not because of the skin of their color. It's also fair to recognize that race shaped life experiences, and those experiences naturally affect how people see politics. The important thing is to give people the respect to make their own choices, not to box them in. So, what do you think? Should a person color determine their vote? I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially if you see it differently. Remember, this is a conversation, not a debate. So, thank you for tuning into the first episode. Again, these are my opinions, and if I got in something wrong, please let me know. That's how we grow.